Hey, welcome. We're live, buddy. And we're live, so there's mistakes when there's a live show, but very excited. Couple things, items of business to cover. Number one, RZ has secured his first sponsor. We're going to talk about that later in the show.
Yes, congrats.
Congrats,
Good job,
RZ. We're going to highlight that sponsor later. It's going to give you a little sneak. We're not going to announce it just yet, but that allowed him to get. We've got a whole production, Coach.
These lights
For the coaches' couch, we've got
cameras. This is
all
unreal.
the stuff. We can see ourselves. But here we are, Coach's Couch. The other item of business is my partner Chad is not here, but it's okay. We miss Chad. We hope we'll see him next week. He's on a business trip.
He probably logged in. I'm sure he's watching.
He's
from
probably
his hotel.
one of our many viewers live right now. We're here live at Yoyo's. We're going to be here every Thursday at 6:15. We do have a pretty excited crowd in the building.
Very excited.
We hope that we would like to pack the place for Yoyo's, and hopefully Yoyo's is going to be a sponsor as well. We'll work on that. But I have a good fill-in, Coach. We've got Chris Roberts from Mahomet. Chris from Mahomet is going to help out this week. So let's get into it. Coach's Couch. We're going to recap Charleston, Coach, last week. Charleston comes in at 3-0. We're 1-2, coming off a tough loss to Sycamore, a really good Sycamore team. You knew that your kids were going to respond. Talk about, they responded. Talk about that response. I mean, you expected a bit. Kind of elaborate on that game a little bit and their resilience to bounce right back.
And that's exactly right, how resilient they were. That Sycamore team is now a 4-0 Sycamore team. Playing really good football. And so I knew, our kids knew, they knew how close we were to that victory. And like I mentioned, at the end of the game with the sour taste that they had in their mouth, I can't say enough great things about our senior leadership that we've had throughout the course of the week of practice, just always continuing to keep guys motivated. It's very hard to do when you're 1-2, coming off of your first home regular season loss in over 4 years. That's a tough pill to swallow, but you never would have known that, again, with our senior leadership that we have and the way that they all as a team came back to work. We had a great week of practice that week. And so, yeah, we felt good going into that Charleston week and ultimately took care of business. I tell them, great teams do what they're supposed to do. And I felt like that's exactly what we were supposed to do. And they came in and they did that. So I was proud of them for that, proud of them for their effort. Again, the week of practice that they had, the senior leadership and keeping guys, focused on the task at hand or the goal at hand and not letting a 1-2 start kind of put them in the dumps or set them behind at all. It's very easy to come out and go through the motions, or be frustrated or disgruntled and not want to get better, but that's not who our kids are and that's not who our team is this year. So it was awesome to see them get rewarded and understand that, hey, if we continue to do what we're doing and continue to get better each and every day, this is what we're capable of. And that was a 3-0 Charleston team. I mean, they have beaten 3 other opponents. Let's not kid ourselves. So, again, to go up against a team who hasn't lost yet, with all the homecoming distractions, I was very proud of our kids.
Yeah, good home opener, conference opener, and a great win. And you obviously set the pace early. I know Chris is going to ask. Chris, why don't you go ahead and ask the question you were going to ask about, the aggressiveness. Go ahead.
Sure.
And ask
Yeah.
Coach.
What are your thoughts on how the special teams did in that game? I thought they did a tremendous job, Coach.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And again, I told the newspaper, Coach Pogue, he's our special teams coordinator, and he'll be the one to tell you that he was pretty frustrated after the Sycamore game. We gave up that kickoff return for a touchdown that maybe could have been the difference if you look at just the score maybe. And he was pretty frustrated after that game. So last week of practice, we really went back and focused hard on the special teams aspect and we devoted more time to it. We put in a few new personnel stuff, a little bit of a change in our scheme. Filmed it a lot more, spent a lot more time, with notes and whatnot, and and film study with the kids on special teams. Sometimes we as coaches take some of that stuff for granted. You know, we expect them to know something because we know it, right? And we have to remind ourselves that these are 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, that this is not their occupation like it is ours. And so it was a great It was not a great moment watching that kickoff return go for a touchdown, but it was a great reflection for us to, again, understand and realize where our team was at and what we got to do to get to where we want to go. So, again, with all of that being said, we had a great week of practice, especially in the special teams with how much we devoted to it. And, again, I think we showed that against Charleston. The punt return for a touchdown, the kickoff return for a touchdown, the onside kick that was executed to a T. We didn't have to punt, so you didn't see how well we had practiced on that too. Again, overall, it was a great night for our special teams and a great night for our kids. So,
yeah, and we'll move on to Taylorville, Coach. But before we do that, I thought we talked about this in the post game show, but those kind of, I'm going to call it blowout game because that's what it was, gives a great opportunity to see some of our future Bulldogs too. And I thought it was fun for us to see that, you know, we're not part of practice every day, and we don't know those youngins so well, being kind of separated from it. It was fun to see those guys and get to meet them for the first time. Talk about some of those young guys.
Absolutely.
That really played amazing.
They did, and I was happy for them, you know, to get rewarded with some playing time under the Friday night lights, right? We talk about that all the time, you know, how our starters in our first group, like, do your job and get it done so that these kids get rewarded. You know, it's your sophomore year and sometimes junior is some of the toughest years you go through. You know, you're a scout team member. You don't get much varsity playing time. You just get beat on in practice throughout the week. And then your time to shine is on Mondays. And again, we want there to be a big crowd, but it's not the same as Friday Night Lights when the band's there, the student section's there, you know, the cheerleaders and everything. So again, for those kids to get rewarded with some Friday night playing time, I was happy for them, proud of our starters, and I think you're right. I think you guys got to see what we see in practice every day. And again, I think one of the reasons we are having success at the varsity level is because of the teams that we're going against as far as our scout team is concerned. And I'll say it out loud here on the show. I tell our kids all the time, there are several second stringers or backups or even scout team kids that would start for most other teams in our conference. And I know that's a bold statement, and I don't mean it to come off in any arrogant type of way. It's the fact of the matter is we have some very talented kids who are, you know, behind some more talented kids, but again, compete each and every day in practice and get after it and know the other team's playbooks and give us a great look. And again, we're successful because of what our scout team does for us.
Absolutely. I mean, you got how many kids out
I
for
think
the program?
115.
115 kids. That's a luxury for most coaches to have, and it shows on game days. It shows in your depth chart for sure. It was fun to see those young guys. But let's move on. Charleston game's a wrap. Good win. Now we got Taylorville. Taylorville on the road. Another Apollo Conference matchup. And, you know, I can say things that maybe you can't say, but Taylorville's been a walkover game in years past. And I apologize to Taylorville fans that might see this, but they're not the same Taylorville team from what I'm seeing. Yes, they're 1-3 coming in, but they just had a really tight game against a pretty talented, skilled, athletic Mount Zion. That's got to give you pause, doesn't it? So Taylor fans, I'm bringing it back around. This isn't the same team that we're used to seeing from Taylorville the last few years, I don't think. Can you talk about it?
And to your point, it's because they've grown up. The last couple of years, we've seen them start as sophomores and then start as juniors. They're all seniors this year, and they've known that this was going to be their year. This is going to be their class from when these kids were freshmen. I'll never forget that. The head coach's son is in this class, who's now a senior. He's the quarterback. Yep. When they came in as freshmen, I remember Jeb talking to me about how excited he was for this class, and I think he and they kind of knew that they might take some lumps. the last couple of years, again, when you start that many sophomores and then even start that many juniors, but they made the playoffs last year and they were still fairly young. They knew that this year was going to be their year with all their senior starters. And you're right. I've said it before. They're one of the best 1-3 teams I've ever seen. Literally, if you look at their 3 losses, every single one of their losses is by less than a score. So that's how easily they could be 4-0 at this point, and that's the reality of it. They play incredibly hard. They throw it around. Again, when your senior quarterback is the head coach's son, he probably knows the playbook better than his dad sometimes. Barron does a great job, and again, I've always had so much respect for Jeb as a head coach and what he's done at Taylorville and truthfully what he's done for me throughout my career. When I was a young kid back in 2010 and just got hired at Peoria Heights, I had known Coach Odom through not only playing at Charleston, when he was the offensive coordinator, but then I coached at some passing camps with him, over the summer that he was in charge of. And so I've always had great respect for Jeb and his program as a whole. And now to watch his son, have the season that he's having, again, just awesome for that family. Now, I hope Barron doesn't have a good game tomorrow night. But outside of that, I hope he continues to play well because, again, he's a great kid and his dad has done a great job with Taylorville program. And, again, getting back to that, they're a very solid 1-3 team. They're going to do a lot of things to us defensively that are going to cause us problems. They play incredibly hard on both sides of the ball. And, again, they have some skill kids who we haven't seen in a while that are very dynamic when they get the ball in their hands. So we're going to have to limit the big play. There's no doubt about that. Being on the road, Taylorville is a hostile environment. You got to hear that tornado siren every time they run out and every time they score. And so hopefully we don't have to hear the siren too often. But it is not. They are not a true typical 1-3 team. Like I mentioned, they are literally a play here or there away from being 4-0. So we're going to have our hands full. We know that. Our kids know that. Again, we've had a great week of practice and preparation. I'm excited for our game plan, and I'm excited for another opportunity. Again, I told the kids tonight, we haven't won on the road yet this year. We have to change that. Again, great teams have to find a way to get the job done. And here's another opportunity for us, again, going on the road to a tough place, a nice another long drive for us. And the walk, walking through their fans and stands and kind of down around. And it's going to be a great opportunity for our kids that I'm really excited about.
Well, and you mentioned a dangerous 1-3 team because now they're starting to think about fighting for playoff life.
Absolutely.
So every game matters a little bit more when you're down 1-3. So again, dangerous opponent coming into a hostile environment. There's some other factors. Chris, why don't you talk about some other factors, some adversity that we're looking at tomorrow night?
Okay, yeah, of course the weather looking not good for all high school games around the area with the remnants of the hurricane in Florida and Georgia. What this game plan going into tomorrow night's game offensively? Do you run the ball more and go so forth?
Well, that's a great question, Chris, because I think you're right. I think the weather is going to be a factor. With the rain and the wind, it's not like playing on a bright sunshiny day. With no wind and no rain. So it is going to be a factor, and I think both teams are going to have to adjust their game plans. Again, Barron, the great quarterback that he is, I don't know that he's going to be able to sling it 50 times like maybe he wants to. So they might have to run the ball more than they want to, and certainly for us too. We like to be balanced. We feel good about being able to do both. But yeah, if it's 45-mile-an-hour wind, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. So we're going to have to find other ways to move the ball on a very stingy defense that flies around and hits you pretty hard. So, but I will say this. I told our kids, they have to play in the same weather we do. So there's absolutely no excuses. Again, we have to go in and get the job done. And that's staying on blocks, that's maintaining focus, whether you're securing the ball, whether you're getting the play call in, 45-mile-an-hour wind through a helmet, it might be tough to hear. So our communication has to be to the utmost level that it's ever been. But at the end of the day, like I said, they have to play in the same weather that we do. And I left our kids with this challenge. I said, the last game we played in where it was windy and rainy, we suffered a loss. And we know how that felt at the end of Triad. And you don't want to feel that feeling again. So, again, don't go in this game overconfident because they're 1-3, because we know that that's not the case. And we know now that the weather is going to be a factor. So let's make sure that we do what it takes to come out on the right side of that, knowing that both teams have to play on it. And we know what it felt like at the end of week 10, suffering that loss after a windy, rainy, muddy game. So, again, I know our kids. I know our seniors. A great week of practice. They're going to come in motivated and ready to go tomorrow night.
Well, we're excited. I know they're not taking them for granted, and I'm excited to see how this offensive line handles that. Most offensive linemen I grew up with know, boy, they love that kind of weather.
Yeah,
they love to eat. They love to muck it up in the mud. So I'm excited to see them shine tomorrow
Won't be any
night.
mud because of the turf.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
obviously
I'm sorry.
Taylorville has
Yeah.
turf, but still.
Good point.
But at the same time, and we kind of talked about that too as far as the game plan, unless it is 50-mile-an-hour wind, like we should still be able to throw the ball, and I'm sure they should still be as well. So I wouldn't necessarily say that our game plans are going to change drastically, but with maybe some more wind or the balls being maybe too slick, then we might have to adapt, and I'm sure both teams will, and we'll change our game plan and see who's got the better one. So
Well, and we all know that meteorologists have the
Easy
best
for
job
you to
on
say.
the planet because they're wrong like 80% of the time. So it
Still
might
get
be,
paid.
Yeah, and they get paid exact same.
Yeah.
So man, I'm sure if you went like 3-10, I don't think that's going
I
to
probably
work
would
every
not
year.
still get paid.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, and nor would I. So, but we're going to move on. Good luck at Taylorville. We're going to take a quick break here on Coach's Couch. We'll be right back with our first segment we call Sidelines. We'll be right back here on the Coach's Couch.
Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today. Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today. Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today. Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today.
All right, we're back on the coach's couch. We ran a little late. We're about 10 minutes behind schedule, but there is no schedule because it's live. I know you got a game to get to, though. You're going to probably run
Tomorrow.
Oh, Friday, yeah. It's Thursday. All right, well, this is our segment we like to call Sidelines, and it's sponsored by nope, no sponsor yet.
Zero.
So remember, RZ is looking for sponsors for our segments. We've got a couple left over. We've got our first sponsor we're going to announce shortly for one of our segments, and we're going to blow that one up. But we're looking for sponsors. You can contact Ryan Ziegler. Check his Instagram, Coach's Couch. He's got all the details for sponsorship. Every little bit helps. It goes right back. All right, we're back, and as I was saying, Coach, we're looking for sponsors, and particularly we went dead there because RZ's batteries are not great. So we need
For college kids.
He is a broke college kid, so every dollar really does go towards his production. It's going to help him not only for the coach's couch, but pursue his career and his passion. So we went dead because his battery died, but he had another one. But he could use a couple
Always
more.
prepared.
But again, this is our segment we call Sidelines. We're looking for a sponsor for this segment. But in the meantime, Coach, I have a couple of questions from online.
Okay.
First one is from Frank Sauce. Frank Sauce. I don't know. I don't understand that, but he asked, or she, I'm not sure, asked. You reference a lot of coaches in your circle over the years and over the last year. How do you know so many coaches in the state? It seems to be a small fraternity is basically what he's asking.
Wow, Frank Sauce. That's
Frank Sauce.
That's a great
Thanks
question.
for that question.
And I'll say this. Let's start here at the top about how fortunate and blessed I've been over my career to have gotten to know and meet so many amazing coaches. I've been fortunate enough to be at multiple stops, so I've had multiple assistant coaches for me. It's several of them who have gone on to be head coaches throughout the state of Illinois, and are doing very well. I still keep in contact with almost all of them. They're doing a great job, and then this is year 15 for me. So, throughout the course of my career, whether it's going to clinics, again, being in the different conferences that I've been around the state. So getting to meet all of those head coaches, and sitting with them, in preseason conference meetings and then all conference selections at the end. And then, like I said, the coaching fraternity is as crazy as this sounds, it might be a small group, but it truly is a close-knit group. Like you might be competitors when you're going up against one another because everybody wants to win. That's what we all do. But at the end of the day, we know that there's not many of us, and we know what each other goes through on a daily basis. So you're kind of you can resonate with them, and you know what they're going through and what they're dealing with, whether it's with parents or administrators, or you have a down year this year with your team or your program, and it's like all of that stuff just makes us a natural close-knit group. And then I'll take it a step further too. I was fortunate enough over the COVID years, the COVID time, where I was bored out of my mind, and all I do is football 24/7. And so on Twitter at the times, they were having a lot of Zoom clinics and Zoom X and O's deals, right? And I got a chance to meet a lot of head coaches through that networking as well. Matter of fact, 5 of them I stay in contact with on a daily basis. They invented this crazy app called Marco Polo, and literally, I mean,
big into COVID.
Yeah, and we still use that and literally talk on a daily basis. You know, we've gotten to know each other's families really well.
That's awesome.
I've visited all 5, and all 5 of them have visited here. They actually were on our sidelines last year when we played Mount Zion.
I do.
So it's just been, again, at the end of the day, we every head coach wants to win, and you're a competitor, and when you're going against the other guy, you know, those natural juices flow. But at the end of the day, again, I think the coaching fraternity is such an awesome group to be a part of and to know. I'm just extremely blessed and thankful to have gotten to have the relationships that I've had throughout all the coaches that I know.
That's awesome. I got another question from Lisa from Thornwood. Before we get to you, Lisa, I was looking. Ryan has a monitor now, and it's weird that we can see ourselves.
It's awesome.
For you viewers at home, you don't understand, but doesn't the lighting actually legit make a great difference?
It does.
I feel like we're on the Letterman show.
And look at these lights. These are professional studio. I know David Letterman. Okay. These are professional studio lights. This is amazing.
Yeah, I feel like
RZ's the man.
I feel like we're gonna bring in a band soon, and
I think RZ's got another question on YouTube over there.
Oh, Lisa, we'll get to you.
Oh, he said he texted.
He texted it. This is live, so hang with us, viewers.
Love it.
We have a question that came in on the stream. It's from Mason. Can you just tell us about your previous coaching experience? So, where was Coach before Mahomet?
Wow. Well, let's take the journey, as the kids love it when I say take this journey with me.
Take the journey.
So obviously, as soon as I got done playing at Charleston, I went to Eastern for a year and helped out with Mike Lynch and the wide receiver core. And that was a great time. I enjoyed my time. Actually, I thought I was going to go be a college coach at that time. But life throws you curveballs, and things change and things happen. So I decided to go the high school route, and I took a job up at Peoria Heights, Illinois. When I was 23, I was the youngest head coach in the state of Illinois at the time. And I was there for 6 years. Actually, my last year, Coach Begner, who you'll meet here in a little bit, was my quarterback, and we made the playoffs.
That I didn't know. I never knew he was
for only
your
the third. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a great player.
Awesome.
Or number 17.
I'm gonna have to
ask him why you wore number 17.
Okay.
But made the playoffs for the third time in school history. So that was a special thing for that school district and that community, and that was an awesome experience as well. And so then after 6 years there, I went down to Jerseyville, Illinois, Jersey Community High School down in the Metro East area. Matter of fact, we played Highland recently. We played Triad last year. They're all in that same conference. So I was down there for 2 years, and then I went down to Florida at Cape Coral High School for a year, did a stint down there. Enjoyed my time. My wife, I think, enjoyed it more. She enjoyed the beaches and the nice weather. But I enjoyed my time down there and got to coach some really talented kids and had a lot of fun doing it. And then, truth be told, this Mahomet job opened, and this has been a dream of mine since I was a junior in high school. And I had to jump at it. I know my wife probably didn't want to leave as soon as we did. But she's a trooper, and her and the kids were along for the ride. And so now we're on our 6th year here and loving every minute of it. So.
Yeah, it's hard to believe you've been here 6 years, and this will be your longest tenure then, basically. It'll
be tied. Yeah, you're right. Next
crazy,
year.
Yeah. You better come back. But Coach, let's get to Lisa's question. So Lisa, she asks, what went into your choice for black socks today when you put them on?
So Lisa from Thornwood. All right, thanks, Lisa. I appreciate you pointing that out.
Hey, we're just here to ask the questions. Don't shoot the messenger.
I have one color of socks in my drawer, and they are all the exact same, and I got like 25 pair of them, and they're all black. So, Lisa, I didn't really have a choice. It's the only pair of socks I had. So, Thanks, Lisa from Thornwood. That was awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to get to dress code stuff later.
Seriously.
Lisa, that was amazing. That concludes our sideline segment that we're looking for a sponsor. So, Lisa, maybe you're in the fashion industry.
Yeah, clearly.
Maybe you can upgrade our wardrobe. Hey, maybe we can get a wardrobe for Coach's Couch.
That's awesome.
But we're going to take a quick break. Matter of fact, RZ's put together highlights from the last game because that's what he does.
The kid is incredible.
So instead of commercials, we're going to run some highlights from the Charleston game. Let's roll it.
Enjoy it.
We'll spot the ball about the 6-yard line. Ashby gets the carry. Ashby down near the goal line. Ashby, the ball carrier. Ashby, touchdown, Bulldogs.
Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Couch. Before we get to some more coaches, I want to make a correction. The highlights were put together by Mike Orton from This Week in Bulldog Athletics, and we're going to talk about him a lot more shortly. But before we get to that, we got another segment we like to call Chalk Talk, and it's sponsored by – we don't have a sponsor yet. No, he's our guest. Unless you want to be – are you going to be our first sponsor for –
I'll be the first sponsor.
Okay, book it, RZ. Alex Georgiou is now the Chalk Talk sponsor. He doesn't know the price yet, so make sure you double it for Alex. But no, this is where we get some coaches together, some of the assistants, some of those key players from the program that coach invites. You guys weren't the first choice, just so you know. You were the second choice.
He loved the Murphy brothers every day.
Well, they kept talking about family and all this stuff. You can't compete with that. No. But we're glad to have you, George. I've known you forever. Alex Georgiou, who is both these guys, Blake Begner, Alex Georgiou, both these guys are JV coaches, but they're also positional coaches. Georgie with the linebackers. We've got a linebacker here tonight, Coach. And Begner, DB. Man after my own heart, love the DBs. So let's get right into it, guys. Georgie, we'll start with you. We don't often talk about the JV program enough, just because that's just the nature of things that, varsity is the IT program, right? Everybody talks about varsity. That's the upward part of the program. But the next varsity guys, you guys are grooming up. So can you talk a little bit about your JV program? What's the record? What kind of season have you had? What are some of the good things that are going on in the JV level?
We're 2-2. Yep. 2-2 this year. We lost to Rochester and Morris.
Two great programs.
We had a good battle against Morris. Very physical team. Obviously, I coached the defense. I thought we were great, physical, and it's awesome to see those young guys that don't get the reps in practice come up and play well. I mean, they pay attention, and they played well against Morris. So
Yeah. Talk about the offense a little, Blake.
Yeah, I think, it's an exciting offensive group. A lot of young guys that are getting reps. That's what JV football is about, is getting reps and, getting better each and every day. And I think we have a lot of talent on that side of the ball. Start with Ryan Pruitt, just the strides that he's made, from freshman year to sophomore year and sophomore year to junior year until now. I mean, just the hard work that he's put in, I'm super proud of him and the strides that he's made. I think he's seeing things a lot better and quicker and understanding the offense, and it's showing, on Monday nights, and I can't wait to see that on Friday nights for him. And the wide receiver group is awesome. A lot of those guys that are getting reps at JV have now started to get reps at the varsity level. Tiefenthaler scored a touchdown last week. Owen Seymour had a great couple weeks, at the JV level. And
Tiefenthaler.
Yeah.
Because we messed that up about 1,000 times Friday.
Did I say it wrong?
No, we said Tiefenthaler.
You can just say Tief.
We were pronouncing that H, so I'm glad you said it correctly because we knew we were butchering.
Well,
Tiefenthaler. Thank you.
Tiefenthaler. Got it.
Okay, carry on,
Yeah,
Blake.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
so-
That's good to know.
No,
We
good.
totally screwed that up. And by we, Chad.
That's what this show is for. Everybody's getting better, kind of like JV football. The
I
more
love
reps
it.
you get, the better
I
you
love
get,
it.
right? So
Love it.
Seymour's starting to get reps at the varsity level. Had a first couple good weeks for us, and now that's translating to Friday nights. And Joe Roller, I think, would start on a lot of high school football teams, and he's showing out on Monday nights. We got two really good backs that run hard, Tristan Nilsson and Cody Moen, and some young guys up front that are doing a good job. So I think, the future is very bright offensively, and I'm excited for that to translate, to Friday nights. So.
Yeah, no, you talked about hold the mic for 2 seconds. You talked about Ryan Pruitt, and I got to give that kid a lot of credit because he's been, in the shadow of his cousin Luke, right? And that's a tough spot to be because like Luke, we're going to talk to Luke actually shortly, but you're waiting your turn, right?
Exactly.
It's easy to kind of not be grinding in the trenches, and he's done a great job of sticking to his plan, knowing that he's hopefully the heir apparent coming up. And hopefully we'll fill Luke's shoes nicely next year. So, but speaking of quarterbacks, we got to talking with Coach earlier about his past history. I had no idea you were his quarterback.
Yeah.
And he mentioned you wore number 17, and there's a story behind that. Can you expand on that a little bit?
What story did he tell you?
Nothing. He told me to ask you.
that's because you love Chris Bryant.
Did he tell you that it was because Jon Adkins wore number 17?
No, he didn't. But I'm glad you did. So
Yeah.
you heard it here first live.
Yeah.
Apparently
if you
he.
look at my Twitter handle, it's Beggy_17, and I like to say, yeah. Throw me a follow if you want, but.
Wow! A little shout out for Beggs.
I've always told him I'm the better 17, and I think I've proven that, throughout my career. So.
I believe it.
You know.
I believe it. We're gonna next week on the coach's couch. We're gonna get stats pulled from both careers. We're gonna see who's what. Welcome. We have some new visitors in the crowd. It's filling up quickly.
Wins.
Here live at Yoyo's.
Well.
Okay, we got a lot of chirping.
A
A lot of chirping.
He abandoned me.
Yeah,
my
wait a
senior
minute.
year.
Charleston,
I probably would have had
Peoria.
a couple more wins had he not left me my senior year.
Yeah,
So.
no, but pretty cool. I did not know that actually. I hadn't heard that. So made the playoffs with you at the helm, I hear. So let's move on again to defense real quick. Georgiou, you've got lots of stories. Some aren't
Not for the
probably
camera.
not for live TV.
Yeah.
But Georgiou, expand a little bit about your linebacking group at the varsity level. We kind of drool over them ourselves. We've watched them grow. You're pretty lucky.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I mean, I got Ethan Esker, Henry Wagner, Brock Vanderveer. I mean, I just show up, honestly. Those guys are great, all great leaders. They make me look good. I mean, it's amazing, honestly.
So the follow-up to that is, are you going to retire?
I
after
probably
this
should,
year?
shouldn't I? I probably should after this year.
Or maybe to ask coach for a position change. Like maybe.
Yeah, maybe I should switch to the O-line next year or something like that.
Yeah, O-line would be a great choice.
O-line would be a great choice, yeah. I
Now
go where
you-
the seniors go.
You're fortunate. We're gonna interview one of your guys in our next segment. But good job, guys. So what's next for JV? Like who on your schedule are you a little bit concerned about going forward on the JV level?
I'll take it.
Putting you right on the spot.
I'll take it. So yeah, we got 3 home games coming up, conference opponents. We got Taylorville coming on next Monday. Mount Zion coming to town, which we're always up for and ready for. And then we go Effingham and Mattoon, I believe, and then we finish up with Richwoods. George talked about the beginning of the year. We played a couple tougher opponents, Rochester and Morse. Similar to our varsity schedule. We didn't win those games. I don't think we played our best ball in those games, but those type of opponents certainly make us better. And I think these next few weeks is a good opportunity for us to get back rolling, and we're excited for Mount Zion to come to town, and certainly for Mount Zion next Friday as well, which a lot of those kids will get some reps here in the next couple weeks too. So that's the outlook for us, and I think we're going to be ready to roll.
Yeah. Okay. We're about to wrap this up, but I got one more question. This is for George, because we're just trading. Blake, you could take it too if George wasn't.
Real quick, I thought
Yeah,
this
go
was
ahead.
the roast of Jon Adkins. That's why I came on.
This next question is perfect
Oh,
then.
perfect.
So I'm glad you teed me up perfectly for this, because I'm going to ask you, how mad do you guys get when you're running a JV program and he just keeps sniping players?
Oh, it's
How bad is that?
It's annoying.
It's not even fair.
No, he's the worst. To be
Do you
honest.
guys fight about it, or what happens? Is it rock, paper, scissors sometimes?
I can get mad, but it doesn't matter. He just does what he wants to do. So
It's all kinds of wrong. I mean, he's got so much depth. He doesn't need to snipe every single
No, he
player that you
doesn't.
guys have.
no,
But you know what? It just shows how good of coaches you are.
I'll
Because
take that.
he snipes players, and you guys just develop.
Yeah,
You just develop.
yeah.
That's what you do. Raising champions from the bottom up, guys. Great job. We'll see you next time. Good luck tomorrow night. Good luck in the JV season. We got Alex, Georgiou, Blake, Begner. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, pay Ryan's bill, his one bill, and we'll talk about our new sponsor right after the break.
Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Couch. We've got 2 couches and a chair, so it's the Coach's Couches. We've got some special guests, but before I get to our guests, I am extremely proud of Ryan Ziegler and proud of this Coach's Couch program that he has received his first Coach's Couch sponsor. And I am – good job, RZ. And the crowd goes wild. We call this segment Inside the Huddle, and I am proud to say it's sponsored by This Week in Bulldog Athletics. Give a big hand to This Week in Bulldog Athletics for the support of this channel. Mike Orton is the man. He's taking a chance on Ryan, and it's a really, really good gamble. So we know that there's more coming, and we're glad that, Mike, you support this show because it's going to lead the way for others to step up and support Ryan. All monies literally go directly to Ryan Ziegler. They don't go to Coach. We don't have NIL at the high school that I know of. So sorry, Luke, Henry, you don't get anything. They go to Ryan for the production. He's already upgraded tremendously. We've talked about it a lot on the show. So This Week in Bulldog Athletics, our first sponsor. Shout out to them. Three claps for this week. 1, 2, 3. All right, and with that, our segment, Inside the Huddle, sponsored by This Week in Bulldog Athletics. We have a couple of pretty cool guys. One from the offense, I think you've heard of him. One from the defense, I think you've heard of him. Luke Dyer, he plays an important position. They call it quarterback. And then we got Henry Wagner, who we just talked about the linebacking group. He's our linebacker, one of 3, of course. Let's get it started with Luke first. Actually, I got a question for both you guys.
Now look at him sitting up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, no.
I was going to save this for the end, but I want to know what it's like having older brothers just beat the tar out of you growing up at every single sport and actually in wrestling. I've seen your brothers just beat the tar out of you. What's that like, and how is that You start, then we'll get to Henry.
Yeah, no shade at Adam, but I've always been just about as big as Adam growing up, so I think Henry got the worst of that. But yeah, it was fun being able to compete with Adam in like all different types of sports. We didn't really like physically fight too often, but we definitely competed against each other in sports, and yeah, he would whoop my butt in a lot of different sports. So
yeah, Ben, not like Adam, was always really big, way bigger than me, and he would always beat on me, but it made me tougher, and it got me ready for life and high school football, I guess. And he's a lot of the reason why I play a lot of the sports I do, and I'm just trying to fill the shoes that I look up to.
I love to hear that. No, that's cool. Like, it's brother love, right? It's tough love, but it's brotherly love. A couple good mentors for you guys growing up, I know. So, but let's get to football. We'll start again with Luke. Luke, a lot of expectations coming this year for you. You had a big year last year, and that was a tough year transitioning from Wyatt's big couple of years. You had high expectations, even higher this year. How do you attack that day to day, and what's your mindset going into the season? And now that you had that breakout, record-breaking performance, how do you handle the expectation week to week that you have to be the man, or do you? I don't know.
yeah, I feel like that's just like focusing on every single play individually and staying in the moment, not worrying about specific stats or specific games down the road, and just staying, where we are with, my team in the moment at practice or before games, anything like that. So.
Yeah, love that, Luke. Take one play at a time mentality. Love that. Henry, I'm bouncing back to you. So we talked to Ethan Esker last week on this same show, and this is your chance to one-up him with your performance. I thought he did well, by the way. And before we get to that, explain the ties and why we don't have one.
I got one on.
Yeah, no, you have one, but why don't Chris and I have one? But no, explain what is the ties about? Who bought them? Why do you wear them on
Boosters
Thursdays?
Bought us our ties. They got
Put that mic
Bulldogs
to
on
your
them.
mouth.
They have Bulldogs on them. Oh,
Yeah,
they
there
have
you go.
Bulldogs on them
Ooh,
to show
cool.
what program we play for.
No, those are
Orange
awesome.
for the team color.
So Thursday nights, you have dinner or something? Is
Yeah,
that why you're
team
dressed up? So explain team dinner. What's that look like week to week? I'm getting off track. Sorry.
No, it's good. Team dinner, it's just has our whole team getting together, and we all meet in the commons of the high school, and our leaders or our captains of the team serve us, and we all just get to be a family and eat together.
I love that. I do love the ties. You guys look sharp. We call it drippy, I think. We mentioned that last week. But again, talk about your fellow Ethan talked about your core, but I want to hear your perspective of what it's like being part of that core linebacking group and what that bond looks like. You guys kind of came up together.
Yeah, I used to play football when I was younger, but I took a little break and I came out for my junior year. But it's been really cool playing the last 2 years with Ethan and Brock, and it's just been a special kind of bond with them too.
That's awesome. I'm going to go back to Luke. We oftentimes give you guys a chance to kind of grill Coach about something. So I'm going to ask you, and if you don't have an answer, it's fine. We'll move right on because you're on the spot. This is live.
Okay.
What's your least favorite part of practice? Maybe you don't have a least, and that's okay. That's okay if you don't.
This is a tough question. I'm going to say it's just stretch flex agility when we get stretched out at the beginning of practice. And I don't know, I think it's just probably because I'm ready to go and I don't want to have to stretch, but I know it's necessary. So, try to go through it at full speed. It doesn't always happen with all of our guys, but yeah, I'd say it's stretch flex agility at the very beginning of the practice.
Okay. Great job.
Dan, if that's the least favorite part of practice, then I think we're doing something
I was
right.
going to say, you're doing. I was expecting maybe Henry's got something. Henry, same question.
I think everything at practice is fun. Can't wait to be there.
That's a great answer, but Luke was honest. You're not being honest right now. No, I'm sure you are.
Being honest.
You're a football guy, and so is Luke. Let me ask you both. You've got, and again, this is live. I'm putting you on the spot. I have no information. But you're both capable of playing at the next level. Have you guys thought about that? And you don't have to tell me where you're going or where you're thinking, but generally speaking, have you thought about playing the next level? Next year, your seniors? Start with Henry.
No, I haven't really put any thought into it. It's just I'm more about my academics and trying to future my career in academics.
I love that. Good for you. How about you, Luke?
Yeah, I've put a ton of thought into it, and it's something that I really went head on to this summer. Went to a bunch of camps, focused a ton on my recruiting, and it's not something that's been the center of my focus for my senior season at all. I've been worried about the team and what's going on inside our program. I've definitely been putting together highlight reels and sending them out to coaches week to week. And I'm a little frustrated with how things are going right now, but it's not something that I can worry about or hang my head on because I'm in the middle of my senior season, and this will probably be the most fun year of football I ever play. So it's not something I'm too worried about.
Yeah, there's no question. Control what you can control. Everybody talks about that. You're going to be just fine, Luke. Don't worry. There's plenty of people that love a kid like you. Coach, before we kind of get it a little fun here, I do want to say, I'm always so impressed with these guys. We don't cue them up on questions, and the way that they handle themselves, you got to be proud. Their parents have to be proud. You guys are really awesome. Not just you, but anybody that we've ever had. Great job.
Yeah.
Great job by this community raising them. You
Again,
coaching them.
no,
Talk about that.
And that's exactly, we started the show off tonight talking about our seniors and the leadership that we've had throughout this entire season, the off season, and through a 1-2 start and through homecoming and everything. You guys are seeing it firsthand, that these are two examples out of the 24 seniors that we have who have done an incredible job leading our program this year. And I tell them all the time, this is your team. I'm just the one that has to have the parent meetings, It's their team. We go as they go, and so far they've done an incredible job. Again, with their leadership and their preparation, and then they're just fun kids to be around. It's a great group of kids. It's a very tight-knit group. Most of them I've gotten to coach since they were in 7th grade, so to watch them grow up and mature, some of them, it's been awesome for me as a coach to see and watch them grow. And again, I couldn't be happier or more proud of them, and maybe thankful, I guess is the right word. Thankful that our program has great leaders like these two and the senior class as a whole.
Yeah, putting you guys on the spot and the way you handle yourself, I'm just really impressed. And You know, that's why we have success, guys leading the program like this, seniors like this. You may not have the answer. I got one last question. You're both pretty darn good basketball players. Are you going to play again this year, or have you decided, if you don't know? You're playing, Luke's playing, Henry. Love that. So, follow-up question. Your head coach is doing a lot of Bulldog TV. Is that good or bad?
Coach Adkins?
Yeah, give your honest opinion of his play-by-play.
Oh, his play-by-play.
His play-by-play during basketball.
I think I like him on the mic. You know, he's a fiery guy, so he'll get excited at times. But, he knows all of us, and he has, I guess, that insider information on a lot of us. He's had us, in class, in football, so I think he's great on the mic.
Good answer, Henry.
Yeah, I think he does a great job. He's had a lot of us on the basketball team since 7th grade, like he said. We were his first basketball team, so he just knows a lot about us. So.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's going to be back. Coach, are you going to be back on the mic for basketball? I know we're skipping way ahead, but we love basketball. We love watching you guys play that sport too, and looking forward to that. But let's finish what we started with football. Chris has a question for you guys. Chris?
You talked about this earlier, but just how about your senior year? You guys been so super, and you're just special about your senior year. Talk about that and your coaching staff and playing for your head coach, Jon Adkins.
Yeah, I think senior year is all about just taking nothing for granted, and like I said earlier, play by play, practice by practice. And Coach Adkins, he's really easy to play for because he knows, or you know that he loves you, so it makes it a lot easier, or a lot easier to go out there and practice every day for him. So.
Yeah, we got a lot of great coaches on our coaching staff. They get us ready for games, so it's just really up to us to perform on the nights, and it's just been really fun to play my senior year, and can't wait for the season.
Well, thank you guys for all you've done. We appreciate you guys. Been tremendous, and good luck in your after your senior year.
Absolutely, guys. We're really proud of you, but we're more excited to watch you play tomorrow night. Good luck tomorrow night. Don't take any plays off. We expect a big game tomorrow from both of you. It's kind of the good luck charm. Ethan Esker had a great game last week. And who was our other guest? Cade. Cade always plays great. Something about this couch, guys. Big things coming your way. Big things coming your way.
Yes, sir.
Go get them tomorrow night. So that'll wrap up this segment, sponsored by This Week in Bulldog Athletics. Yeah, buddy. We'll be right back to wrap this one up on Coach's Couch.
Sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today.
All right, folks, welcome back to Coach's Couch. It's kind of nice because RZ is really not good at counting us in that we have this monitor. RZ is great at a lot of things, but one thing he's not good at is, so now that we have a monitor, Coach, we know when we're live.
When we're live, yeah, exactly.
So we did have a last-minute question come in from Simon, not Anderson, because Simon would just text me. Wants to know who your favorite NASCAR driver is. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to try to answer this for Coach, but you're going to answer.
Okay.
Pretty sure Coach can't watch NASCAR because he doesn't sleep Friday through Sunday. But go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you this. I love a lot and almost all sports. NASCAR is something that I've never gotten into. Believe it or not.
You don't like
I know this sounds
cars going in
crazy.
circles?
I know this sounds crazy, but me sitting on a couch watching a car go around in a circle is probably up there with the last thing that I would ever do.
RZ is going to cut your mic. He's a
I
big
know.
he's a
I'm
big
sorry,
NASCAR.
Ryan. I'm sorry, buddy. I'll tell you this. I used to like Dale Earnhardt when I was a kid. I mean, he was awesome because he was the right, like he was the man.
He was the rebel. that everybody
And then when
loved.
I was actually in high school, I worked at Home Depot, so I liked. Who the heck was Joey Logano?
Joey
I think,
Logano,
used to be
yep.
the Home Depot guy.
No, I think he was.
Used to
Yeah,
be
he
the
was.
Home Depot guy. So I know a little bit about NASCAR, but yeah, no. Truth be told, thank God golf switches to another hole. Like, at least that's something different. Maybe there's a tree or something involved. I just cannot look at cars going around in a circle. I'm sorry, RZ, and I apologize to all the NASCAR fans. That is one sport that I've just never been able to get into.
Yeah,
so.
sorry, Simon from Fisher.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Simon.
No,
Thanks for the question.
Thanks
though,
for
Simon.
the question. Remember, before we wrap up, we want your questions. We appreciate the participation. You can submit them online to all the social media channels that Ryan has set up. I believe you said it's in the link below. Coach's Couch _ Mahomet. Thank you. We thank our players tonight. Thank our coaches for coming. Coach, you got anything to wrap us up here? Anything else you want to add before we wrap this baby up?
Another week. RZ, again, I posted a picture of this earlier, but every single thing that you see here, the 4 cameras, the TV monitor, the computer, the lights, the extension, I mean, this is all him. You and I just show up. I mean,
just show up.
Ryan Ziegler is awesome at this production.
Broke
this is
college
something-
kid making it
This
happen.
is something that he wanted to do, and obviously to help his future, and I think it's awesome. So we need a couple more sponsors. And again, if we want this production to maybe even get better than it is right now, and it's really good, let's try to get some more sponsors for RZ and this program that he's got going. It's fun. I know the kids like it. They actually ask me, like, hey, who gets to go this week? And obviously the coaches are involved now too. So, we're trying to spice it up a little bit. We'd love to see more people here asking questions or again, supporting the players or the coaches when they're here. And just appreciate everything that RZ does, not only for this, but obviously everything he does for Bulldog TV and you and Chad, and it's been awesome. So looking forward to tomorrow night. Hopefully I don't get blown over or too wet. I actually bought my staff rain jackets, brand new rain jackets, so we're kind of excited, believe it or not, to bust those out
Your
tomorrow
own
night.
drip.
So, yeah, we're going to be drippy.
Okay,
or
drippy
drippered
coaches.
or whatever, yeah.
Whatever it's called.
But yeah, no, looking forward to tomorrow night. Excited for the opportunity to head down to Taylorville and hopefully come away with a win on the road.
Yep. Chris, you got any last thoughts?
Just say good luck tomorrow night, and thanks again to the seniors tonight. Great show, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. I was actually going to end it with that because I knew he would.
Say that,
We'll
yes.
We'll still do it, but don't forget to subscribe to this channel every Thursday live at Yoyo 6:15 sharp. We go to about 7:22. But we're going to have coaches, players every week. But subscribe to this channel, like, share, all the stuff you do. That's a wrap for this week. Chris, let's end it with a Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
See you next time.
Support Bulldog Nation by sponsoring Coach's Couch. Become a segment sponsor today and get your business featured in a 15-second ad during the show. Plus, enjoy a shout-out during your sponsored segment. Contact us at the information on your screen to secure your spot today.